Morgan Freeman kicked off the opening ceremony at the Qatar World Cup 2022, but some of the 85-year-old actor's fans were squirming in disappointment, pointing out the Gulf state's notoriously tough laws. In Qatar, homosexuality is illegal and extramarital sex between even straight couples can potentially be punished by the death penalty. Morgan was one of the event's most honored guests after the country reportedly spent a mammoth $200 billion in preparation for hosting the World Cup. He arrived at the event yesterday, which featured a procession of soldiers on camelback, and narrated the opening segment, The Calling, at the Al Bayt Stadium in Doha. England fans concerned about LGBT rights and potential mistreatment of migrants were disappointed to see Morgan at the event, reciting, "We gather here as one big tribe and Earth is the tent we all live in." Morgan also spoke of the unity and respect of those coming together through football. He was accused on Twitter of being a callous sellout, oblivious or indifferent to human suffering, while some said he had blood on his hands. Initially, England fans hoping to attend the event were merely disheartened by a U-turn, meaning they were no longer allowed to consume alcohol in the stadium. However, that turned out to be the least controversial issue, as shocked sport followers learned pregnant women living in Qatar can be arrested and jailed, while Muslims who have gay or extramarital sex can be flogged or given the death penalty. Meanwhile, there have been concerns over allegedly unsafe working conditions for migrant workers, with some who helped to build the stadium having died during the process, although Qatar authorities have denied any wrongdoing. Football fans also learned that public displays of affection are forbidden even between married couples, while they were briefed to avoid skimpy clothing to avoid trouble with authorities in the strict state. Footballers were also concerned about the hot conditions, with temperatures this week expected to exceed 30 degrees in spite of the fact that in Qatar, this is considered the winter season. Among those who apparently declined to perform at the event are Dua Lipa and Shakira. Meanwhile, Rod Stewart, whose wife Benny Lancaster recently qualified as a policewoman, addressed his stance openly in an interview with the Sunday Times, stating, "It's not right to go." He admitted had been offered over $1 million to play a show in Qatar the previous year, but had turned down the gig on moral grounds. Yet Robbie Williams and the Black Eyed Peas are still expected to perform at the event, while Nicki Minaj has already debuted a World Cup song created especially for the event, Tuko Taka, performed with Maluma and Miriam Fairs. Even the BBC opted out of including coverage on its main TV channel, instead offering it via the Red Button, the BBC Sport website or iPlayer. Yet fuming Piers Morgan took to Twitter to declare the decision outrageously disrespectful after those tuning in hoping to catch a glimpse of the action simply saw celebrity commentators such as Gary Lineker and Alex Scott having a moral debate about the location. Outrageously disrespectful to Qatar that the BBC didn't broadcast the World Cup opening ceremony, and instead put out more virtue-signaling guff about how awful it is, he exclaimed. "If they're that appalled, they should bring home their vast army of employees and spare us this absurd hypocrisy." In an additional tweet, he also urged viewers to stop virtue signaling and simply focus on the BLY football. Yet a concerned Gary Lineker branded it the most controversial World Cup that has ever been held.